That was a Biggie and 112 Only You. Almost invariably, when America has a problem, it seeks to blame a villain. Now, in New York, Mayor Eric Adams is blaming violence on drill music. It's interesting because there's always specific types of music you blame it on. Like hip-hop is responsible, apparently, to a lot of people for the word nigga, which is a ridiculous argument. Nigga's been in the American lexicon since the early 1700s. Hip-hop been around since around 1975. What came first, nigga or the Sugar Hill Gang? Was it Mark Twain or Big Bank Hank? And it's always specific types of music. I will say this, America has been violent before anybody knew what hip-hop was. And why is it always a specific type of music? No one asked that we associate violence with. Nobody asked what they were listening to when they stormed the Capitol. Nobody asked what they were listening to when they enslaved people and murdered Indians. Nobody asked what they were listening to when there were 200 race riots around the country. Nobody asked what they were listening to. Like, if we're going to ban violent song, why don't we start with the Star Spangled Banner? Not the one we cut down, but the one that the poem is based on, Francis Scott Key, how violent that is. Because America is inherently a violent place. If it were songs that got us in trouble or music that got us in trouble, why did the victims of Sandy Hook sue Remington instead of Arista? It's because Remington makes assault weapons, and Arista makes music. It is always quick. We are always trying to have activity instead of accomplishment. We're seeking to ban drill music, but not assault rifles, because it's expedient and it's cool to say, and everybody just gloms onto it. America is inherently a violent place. More people have died at the hands of other Americans than have died in all the wars we've ever fought before we ever heard any music. Are we fat because we played Pac-Man? So we're violent because we listen to music? Why is it specific types of music? What were they listening to when 60 people were gunned down in Las Vegas in a mass shooting? What were they listening to when they blew up the federal building in Oklahoma City? What are they listening to when there were 200 race riots in this country? What were they listening to when they were cutting babies out of pregnant women? What were they listening to? Because the damn show wasn't drill music or hip hop. Why is it that our particular genre of music is the only one that inspires these kinds of accusations? It is easier to buy a gun than it is to buy music at some stores with the word gun in it. America is inherently a violent place, and it always has been. Right now, there are people who believe, a large percentage of people on the right, believe that violence is okay in political discourse. They believe it right now. Apparently, to a lot of people, that wasn't a violent uprising. That was political discourse. So why is it that violence is always framed through the prism of us? It was just us that did it? It's just, so if it's violent music, it had to be the music we listen to. Isn't music supposed to calm the savage beast, not inspired to go on violent rantings? America needs to accept that it's always been violent. It is steeped in violence. What were the Pilgrims listening to so it just started with us? Violence is as American as apple pie. Violence and bigotry and hatred. And the other thing that's very American is blaming the people that you're visiting the violence on. You think music, getting people to stop listening to drill music is the answer? You think that it is this genre of music that has got us on this path of violence? What was it before? When thousands of people, like America, just this year, thousands of people, 30-some thousand people in 2020 died. Were they all listening to drill music? America is not violent because of what it listens to. America is violent because of what it doesn't listen to. That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.